The Orbea Wild FS, a bike that promises bigger and better adventures. But is this the bike that will bring out your wild side? And will it live up to its promises? Well, the first thing you'll notice when you see this bike is that it is a looker. Everywhere I went, it turned heads. Admittedly, orange is a pretty bold colour choice, but I kind of liked it, and so did a lot of people I spoke to. However, if that's not your thing, you can easily select your own colours using Orbea's amazing MyO program. The Orbea Wild FS comes with 160mm of travel front and back and runs on 29-inch wheels. The 65.5-degree head tube angle and 76-degree seat tube angle are similar to the sort of figures that you would see on other comparable Enduro E mountain bikes. The size large bike that I was riding had a reach of 455mm and a total wheelbase of 1,232. Now, I'm 187 centimeters tall, or 6'2" in old money, and I have to say that I felt a little bit cramped on this bike. So if I was going to buy this bike, it would definitely have to be an extra large frame. The Wild FS comes in 9 different build options, from €4,599 for the alloy framed H30 version, right up to a whopping €8,999 for the all singing, all dancing M Limited version that I was riding. Now, on the face of it, this might seem like an enormous amount of money to be spending on the top version. However, if you consider the fact that it's got a full XTR group set, it's got XTR brakes, Fox factory suspension, and a set of DT Swiss wheels that would set you back €1,000 on their own, you're getting an awful lot of bike for that money. The Wild FS comes equipped with the Bosch CX Performance motor. Now, this new motor is absolutely fantastic, and in my opinion, it represents a massive leap forward for the German manufacturer that catapults it ahead of its nearest mainstream rival, the Shimano E8000 unit. This motor is significantly quieter than the Shimano unit. Now, although it only has an extra 5 Nm of torque compared to the Shimano unit, it feels like it has an awful lot more. The MTB mode is an absolute revelation. These kind of undulating uphill trails, the MTB mode is really good. Because, wow, that's amazing. You don't have to be playing with the power. The more power you put down, the more support the engine gives you. And what's more, you get to appreciate all of this silky smooth power for even longer, thanks to the 625 watt-hour battery in the down tube and the ability to attach a further 500 watt-hour extender. Just think about that for a second. What adventures couldn't you have with a whopping 1,125 watt-hours of battery? Locating the key to the battery in the steer tube is a nice little touch that makes sure you've always got a key on hand. However, it does mean that you will no longer be able to tighten up the headset using a multi-tool because the star nut is located too far down the steer tube. And if I'm honest, I could do without a key to lock my battery up anyway. I'm a real fan of the Kiox display on this bike, which is easy to read and provides the rider with a huge amount of information in a really sleek and compact package. Furthermore, if you want to use this bike as a training tool, you can monitor your power output, cadence, and heart rate all through this display. However, it is not all good news. So that's quite unusual. I was just coming up the last bit of the climb. I hit 10% battery, and then the battery display turned red with an exclamation mark, and I had no more power. Bosch, for some reason, have also stuck with their absolutely awfully designed charging port cap, which is a pain to open, a pain to close, and doesn't even look that waterproof. On top of that, the remote control on this bike has left me seriously questioning my faith in German design excellence. I mean, come on, Mr. Bosch. Is this ugly piece of unergonomic plastic the absolute best you can come up with? I put this bike through its paces over 3 days, doing around 90 kilometers and some 4,500 meters of climbing and descending. So I need to give a very, very special thank you to the guys at the Radbar in Schmerikon who made this possible. Okay, so now let's get to that question that everybody wants to ask. How did the bike actually ride? The strong Bosch motor and the 29-inch wheels made this bike an absolute pleasure to climb. You can use the power of the motor to drive the front wheel into obstacles, safe in the knowledge that those larger 29-inch wheels will just keep on trucking. The 160mm cranks were also a very welcome addition. Not once did I have any pedal strikes on all of the technical climbs I did. And this is definitely a complaint that I could level at many other e-mountain bikes that I've ridden. However, caution is required when starting on steep inclines. I felt the bike had a tendency to either want to wheelie or wheel spin. The only other minor niggle I would have is that the Pro pedal lever is located so far down, it's almost impossible to activate it without stopping pedaling completely. But seeing as this is an e-bike, I guess this isn't really a major issue. On flatter cross-country sections of trail, the bike worked really well. Large 29-inch wheels helped maintain momentum and there was no noticeable resistance from the motor when you exceeded the 25 km/h limit. On the descents, the Wild FS is an absolute rocket ship. Now 29-inch wheels pick up speed pretty quickly anyway, but you add in the extra mass of the e-bike and you can be hitting warp speeds in absolute record time. In fact, early on with the bike, I was almost caught out on a couple of occasions when I was carrying much more speed into a corner than I was expecting, and I was really thankful for the huge stopping power from those XTR brakes. Oh, you can feel the new rubber as well. Oh, overcooked it. In terms of handling, it strikes a happy balance. It's not super aggressive, but it offers plenty of stability and feels really planted in rough, steep terrain. However, when things start to get a little twisty, it does feel a bit more cumbersome. So, does the Orbea Wild FS fulfill its promise of even bigger, better adventures? The answer has to be an absolutely resounding yes. Now, if you're looking for an e-bike to shuttle you up and down jump and flow trails, you might well be better served by something else. But if you're looking for an e-bike to take on massive days out, this is definitely a bike you have to consider. It is superbly spec'd at every single price point. And that large battery with the range extender might mean you end up tiring before you actually run out of battery. It will definitely have you smiling from ear to ear. The Orbea Wild FS is definitely a bike that lives up to its name. It is designed to tackle whatever wild and gnarly terrain you decide to throw at it. Thanks for coming along. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Oh, yes, baby. Oh my god, this is way to home. So it's good to play.